Fine. All right. How are you? Uh-huh. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we have just had a meeting with Dr. Ralph Bunch, and I would like to mention the persons who served on the committee: Dr. Benjamin Spock. Dr. Benjamin Spock, I'm naming the persons who were on the committee that just met with Dr. Ralph Bunch. Dr. Benjamin Spock, Mrs. Dagmar Wilson, Mr. Dave Dellinger, Mr. Cleveland Robinson, and Reverend James Bevel, all of whom are a part of this mobilization in a very significant way. The Secretary General, as you all know, I'm sure, Mr. Utant, is in Afghanistan today, and he had the Undersecretary, Dr. Bunch, to receive us and to receive the petition which we presented. And I'd like to read the petition, and then you may feel free to ask questions. From towns and villages, cities, campuses, and farms, we have come in tens of thousands to march and rally at the United Nations in New York and at the birthplace of the World Organization in San Francisco on this, the 15th day of April, 1967. We, the participants in today's unprecedented national peace demonstration, although of many national origins, faiths, and shades of political opinion, are united in our conviction of the imperative need for an immediate, peaceful solution to an illegal and unjustifiable war. We are determined that the killing be stopped and that a nuclear holocaust be avoided. We rally at the United Nations in order to reaffirm our support of the principles of peace, universality, equal rights, and self-determination of peoples embodied in the Charter and acclaimed by mankind, but violated by the United States.
Reverend King, did you have any exchange with Mr. Bunch over your differences of opinion as to the course the civil rights movement should take in this country?
Well, I think Dr. Bunch cleared that up himself the other day, so I didn't say anything about it. He came out with a press statement that he thoroughly understood my position, and I've made it clear all the time that there has never been an advocacy on my part of a mechanical merger of the civil rights and the peace movement. I have felt, however, that the spirit of the civil rights movement should certainly imbue the peace movement and thereby strengthen the peace movement.
Do you have any personal exchange at all, sir?
No, other than discussing this petition, and Dr. Bunch made it very clear that the United Nations and the Secretary General are very much concerned about the war in Vietnam, and he made it clear that they were very frustrated and disappointed that they were in a situation where they see for the first time a war taking place since the existence of the United Nations that they've been unable to do anything about. And he made it clear also that Utant is still standing on the position that he has expressed over and over again, and that is that we should cease the bombings, and the new position of a unilateral ceasefire on the part of the United States, which would be an initiative which we could afford to take.
What do you think will happen?
We didn't go into that. I'm sure he supports the Secretary General. He certainly implied that, and I think he said it publicly before, so we didn't go into any details on that. But I think I can be safe in saying that Dr. Bunch would support the position of Utant. Well, I hope it will arouse an awareness on the part of many, many people in our country, and in arousing an awareness on the part of many people, cause them to take a stand in their own personal ways against what we consider a very unjust and unjustifiable war, and a war that is terribly damaging the soul of our nation.
What is your position as to the priority of the two movements?
The priority of the peace movement and the civil rights movement, I think from a content point of view, the issues are inextricably tied together. In the final analysis, there can be no peace without justice, and there can be no justice without peace. So I think both of them are priorities, and we've got to deal with both of them as basic priorities.
You say that to Dr. Bunch?
No, we didn't discuss that at all.
So you discussed with Dr. Bunch?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't. Oh, of course. I think this is a very humanitarian act, and I think more and more our concerns must be humanitarian. They must be ecumenical rather than sectional. After all, these are human beings who are suffering. They are our brothers, even though we may disagree with them politically. And I think this is a marvelous act of generosity which I thoroughly support. Yes, sir. Someone over here.
Do you consider today's rally a success, Dr. James?
Oh, I certainly do. I think it's a marvelous success and a marvelous demonstration of a great concern and an outpouring of dissent on the basis of the wrong policy which I think we followed for all of these years.
Dr. King, you have been accused today by some sections of suggesting that in this manner of your presentation at the rally, you are taking a one-sided view of this whole problem. Would you like to say anything?
I've never taken a one-sided approach to this problem. I've always said that I recognize the ambiguity of the total situation, and I recognize that if there is to be a peaceful resolution, or if there's to be a negotiated settlement, there will have to be some give and take on both sides. But I think since we took the initiative in building up this war on the ground, on the seas, and in the air, we can certainly take the initiative in stopping the war. And I think there are certain things that we can afford to do which threaten our security in no way. And I've said all along that I'm speaking to America. I am an American, and like the prophets of old who spoke to Israel rather than spending all of that time speaking to Babylon, I want to speak to my own country.
Dr. King, what happens now, sir? Is this to be the last demonstration, or will you do many more?
Well, I think this is just the beginning of a massive outpouring of concern and a massive outpouring of protest activities concerning this unjust war. I can't give you any programmatic action right now or any dates for the next action program, but I would just say today represents a beginning rather than an end.
Dr. King, the charge has been made that the civil rights movement is taking over the
Well, it depends on what you mean by the civil rights movement. If you mean organizations within the civil rights movement, there are some organizations that are more involved than others, but certainly the civil rights movement isn't taken over. We are coming in as individuals, and it is our belief, it is my belief, that justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and I'm not going to limit my concern and my commitment to justice for Negroes. I'm concerned in this country about justice for Appalachian whites. I want to end poverty for everybody, so that on the international scene I'm concerned about justice for everybody, and I cannot afford to be as narrow and provincial as some are suggesting that I should be at this time, and I refuse to do it. My concern is for all mankind. We've got to lead.